The first order of business with all of my models is to seal all the edges of the covering all over the plane. This doesn't take very long, but it can go a long way to keeping your covering looking a lot better. Once the edges are sealed, I use my heat gun to go over the whole model to tighten up the covering. Next, I go over all the joints that I can reach with thin CA. This is just a good step that doesn't take long to toughen up all the joints a little bit. With all the thumping our gas engines give these planes, going over the joints is just a good idea. With the cowl bolted in place, I check the distance from the firewall to the edge of the cowl. Then I use this dimension to figure out how much of a standoff I need on the motor. I add about 1/4 of an inch to this dimension to make sure that the spinner backplate misses the cowl. Aeroworks includes templates for drilling the engine mounts, but none fit my DLE 61. I downloaded this one from the DLE website and used that to line up the motor mount holes. I use a brad point bit so it doesn't wander when I first start drilling the holes. Aeroworks includes a bag of these machined aluminum spacers that I put behind my standoffs to get the distance that I wanted. This makes for a very solid motor mounting system. Aeroworks includes these tough steel control horns that get mounted in the pre-drilled holes in all the control surfaces. And all the hardware is 440 for extra toughness. The pull cables Aeroworks supplies are easier to install because everything's just a little bit bigger and it's easier to work with. This system is also very tough. The only hinging we have to do is on the rudder. Everything else is hinged at the factory and ready to go. All of the control linkages are also 440 and include a true turnbuckle that makes dialing these control surfaces in easy. The interior of the Aeroworks Edge 540 fuselage is huge and gives you lots of options for mounting stuff. You get a gas and smoke tank with the kit, but I'm pretty much addicted to rotoflow tanks. I think an Edge 540 just won't look right without a pit-style muffler on it. But that kind of muffler can make cutting the cowl a little more exciting than you want it to be. I need to clean up and straighten the edges on this, but this is essentially how the cowl is going to be to fit this muffler and engine. This little notch allows the nose of the crankshaft to get past this ring. And I had to remove the ring altogether between the bottom mounts. I mounted both of the access panels for my SmartFly system near the front where they're easy to get at, and because there's not a whole lot of room on the side above the wing back through the rest of the fuselage. I like having the switches up front anyway, so this is going to work just fine. Here I've got everything in the plane, but some of it's just laid out where I think it's going to wind up so we can check the CG. You have zero excuses for not getting the CG right because of the CG buddy Aeroworks includes. These plates are made just for this airplane, so you get the CG exactly where they want it. You can move the CG a little bit later, but this is a great place to start. One of the plates goes between the wing and fuselage on either side. Then you just loop the cord on the handle over each one of the buttons, and you can lift the plane all by yourself. And remember that we checked the CG with this plane ready to fly minus fuel, so that means that the canopy has to be on as well. Then all you do is lift it by the handle and see how it hangs. And you'll see that my first layout bullseyed the CG. Plane hangs perfectly level. All that's left now is to nail down all the equipment in the places where I had it. This was supposed to be like a 3-part review, but when Aeroworks says it's a quick build airplane, they mean it. So stay tuned, because with just a little bit of setup work, my Aeroworks Edge 540 is ready for the maiden flight.